Hey guys, so go ahead and pause the video and complete this warm-up. Okay, if you said that the bakery makes a profit on Wednesday and Friday, you're correct, because 18 is not bigger than 45, 25 is not bigger than 45, 36 is not bigger than 45, and Saturday they can't make a profit because it's only greater than, not greater than or equal to. And today we're going to talk about graphing inequalities. Okay, so we know how to solve them, and now we're going to graph them. So if you put an open circle, that means the number is not included. So you will use an open circle for greater than problems and less than problems. Maybe I should make this or. So it's greater than or less than problems. A closed circle means the number is included. And you'll use this on greater than or equal to or less than or equal to problems. Okay, so to make this make sense, let's do a few examples. So if I tell you example 1, we're going to say n is greater than 9. The first thing you need to do is draw a number line. Okay, do not draw a number line that goes from -10 to +10, some big long number line, okay? That is not necessary. All you have to do is draw something small, put 9 on there, and then just tell me that you know 8 is less and 10 is more, okay? And once you have your little number line, then you just need to decide, do we need an open or a closed circle? So it says that an open circle means it's not included, and that's greater than or less than. And our sign is greater than, so we will put an open circle on 9. And then if it's greater than 9, we have to have any number to the right of 9. So I'm just going to shade to the right of 9, because that means anything bigger than 9 is a solution. And a way to remember which way you should shade is if the variable's on the left, and remember it always has to be, the inequality sign will point in the direction that we should shade. Okay? So now if I give you example 2, and I say A is less than or equal to 10, we would draw a little number line, put 10 on it. You need to tell me that you know 11 is bigger and 9 is smaller. So the next question is, do we need an open or a closed circle? Well, because this is less than or equal to, I read that a closed circle means the number is included, and these are the two signs. So we have the less than or equal to. So that means my circle is going to be closed. I'm going to color it in because I will include 10. And then my variable is on the left, so my sign points in the left direction, so it's anything less than 10 or equal to 10. So it's shaded in because it can be 10. 10 is a solution, whereas 9 is not a solution. Okay? Now for example 3, I'm going to give you n is less than 15. So draw your little number line, put 15, then we'll have 14 and 16. And now I want you to tell me, do we need an open or a closed circle? If you said open, you're correct. And now do we need to go to the left or to the right? If you said to the left, you are correct, because the variable is on the left and our inequality is pointing to the left side. Okay, now example 4. B is greater than or equal to 7. So draw your little number line, put 7, 6, and 8. And now do we need an open or a closed circle? If you said closed, you are right because 7 is included because of the equals to. And now do we go to the left or the right? If you said the right, you are correct because our variable is on the left and our inequality sign is pointing to the right because it's any number equal to or bigger than 7. So now I'm going to flip the page because I'm out of room. And we're going to look at a few word problems. Now the word problems we're going to start with, you did some of these on Friday in the lesson with Miss Gardner. Okay, so one you did was a pony is less than 14.2 feet tall. So the first thing we need to do is we need to write the inequality. So we've got to find the key word or phrase. And here it would be less than. And then it's the 4.2 feet tall. So you tell me what the inequality should be. If you put P is less than 14.2, you are correct because under the less than sign in your notes from Friday, you should see that you need to use the less than symbol for the words less than. Okay, and now if we're going to graph it, I'm going to put 14.2 on the number line, and I'm going to show that 13's less and 15's more. Do not get hung up on the decimal. We can work with decimals just like we can work with fractions. Okay, now you tell me, do I need an open or a closed circle? If you said open, you're correct because it's less than, not less than or equal to. And now you tell me, go to the left or to the right. If you said go to the left, you are correct because my variable is on the left-hand side and my inequality points to the left. Okay, the next one you also did on Friday, it says I can't spell. You must be older than 13 to play rec baseball. Okay? So first we need to write the inequality. If you wrote B is greater than 13, you're correct because we use the key words older than 13. So you have to be a bigger number than 13 in age. And now we need to graph the inequality. So we'll put 13 on the number line, something less, something more. And now you tell me open or closed circle. If you said open, you're correct because it's greater than, not greater than or equal to. And now do we go to the left or to the right? If you said to the right, you're correct because the variable is on the left and the inequality points to the right. And the last word problem we're going to do is Tasha can spend no more than $40 on new books. Write and graph this inequality. So first we need to write it, but before we can write it, we have to find our key words. If you said the key word was more than or no more than, you're correct, and that's the $40. And now we have to write our inequality, so I would put on books, B, we can spend less than or equal to $40. So that means we can spend 40, but no more than 40, so something less than or equal to 40. And now if we graph it, put 40 on our number line, 39, 41. Do we need an open or closed circle? If you said closed, you are correct because of the equal to. And now do we go to the left or the right? If you said the left, you are correct because our variable's on the left and our inequality sign is pointing to the left. Okay? So you should be able to write and graph an inequality when you're given a situation. Now we're going to take a side note and we're going to talk about a compound inequality. Okay? You shouldn't see many of these, so we're just going to do one example, but I do want to show you just in case you do. So a compound inequality means you're going to say some number is less than this, but not greater than this, or some scenario like that. So what we're going to look at is -1 less than or equal to x less than 2. So this means some number x is greater than or equal to -1, but less than 2. So that's how you would read that. Okay, so when you look at these, this symbol goes with -1, this symbol goes with -2. So the first thing we need to do in order to graph this is draw our number line. And I'm going to be a little more detailed with this one. So I'm going to go from -3 to +3. Okay, so do I need an open or a closed circle at -1? If you said closed, you're correct. Do I need an open or closed circle at +2? If you said open, you're correct. Now I'm going to rewrite. Okay, so I'm going to write this, and then I'm going to write this, making sure the variable is on the left for both. So if I write this part, I'm going to write it just like I see it because the variable is on the left. But then if I write this part, I'm going to flip it. So when I have to flip, I make my little reindeer nose. It's pointing to -1, so I know I want x on this side, -1 on this side, and then I want my point pointing at -1. So for x is less than 2, I'm going to go to the left, just a little bit because I don't know about the other one. For x is greater than or equal to -1, I'm going to go to the right. So that means anything between -1 and 2 is a solution for this, okay? And I'm just going to box this off to the side as a side note. And now we're going to solve and graph some inequalities. So the first one we're going to do is 5x less than or equal to 45. Okay? So the first thing I need to do is solve. So the opposite of multiplying is to divide. So I get rid of multiplication and I divide. I bring down my x, my same sign, and 45 divided by 5 is 9. And now I need to graph it. So I'm drawing a little number line. And I'm putting a 9 here, an 8, and a 10. And now does my circle need to be open or closed? If you said closed, you're correct. Do I go to the left or the right? If you said the left, you are correct. My inequality is pointing to the left. Okay. And now number 2, I'm going to go over here. And we're going to do x divided by 8 greater than 3. Oh, I wrote a 6 instead of an 8. Okay, first we solve. The opposite of division is multiplication. X, bring down the sign, greater than 24. If I graph it, I put 24, 23, 25. Open or closed? Open, left or right? We're going to the right. Okay, and the last one I want to do is 3 greater than or equal to 2 plus y. Now, on these I didn't ask, but we asked ourselves was the variable on the left, and it was in 1 and 2. But now in 3, the variable's on the right, which we know is a problem because we read left to right, not right to left. So we need to say flip. So it's going to be 2 plus y less than 3. The nose is pointing this way. We're going to subtract 2 on both sides. We're left with y less than 1. And if we graph it, 1, 0, 2, close circle, going to the left. And that's all there is to it.